And those calls for a humanitarian ceasefire come as critical aid is slowly making its way into Gaza. ABC's Matt Rivers joins me now from the Nitzana border crossing between Israel and Egypt, south of the Rafah border crossing. Matt, you got an inside look at the inspection process for some of this aid coming into Gaza. How complicated is it?
Yeah, Diane, this was a really interesting look that we got a little bit earlier today. We actually just came back from the Nitzana border crossing where we were there watching the humanitarian aid going in. This has been a topic of obviously some of the greatest concerns since this conflict began. How do the people of Gaza get the aid that they need? Well, where we were earlier today is the point in which the Israelis agreed that any aid going into Gaza would have to pass through to be inspected before getting into Gaza. It comes from Egypt, crosses over, goes all the way to Nitzana, which is on the eastern side of that area. It gets inspected there, then gets passed all the way through. We saw all kinds of aid there, everything from water to dry goods. We saw bars of dates. We saw water. We saw milk powder, all kinds of things that people need in Gaza right now, and that's where it goes through. It's a very intense inspection process that we saw. It can take a long time. That's why only 750 trucks, more or less, have gotten into Gaza since the start of this conflict.
So, Matt, why is it taking so long to get this aid to the areas that need it most?
Yeah, so before this conflict began, there was some 500 trucks per day going into Gaza. But we asked Israeli officials, well, what's the difference between the trucks that are going in now and those trucks? A lot of those trucks that were going in weren't just loaded down with, dry goods, with water. There was also all kinds of building materials, different kinds of things were being brought into Gaza daily. Now you're seeing more of the life necessities, the bare necessities that people need to survive. But I think the biggest thing in terms of holding up all these delays is the inspection process. The Israelis are determined to not allow anything that Hamas could use in its war effort to get into Gaza. So that's not just things like munitions, which would obviously be quite obvious, but it would also be things like building supplies that Hamas could use, according to Israel, to reinforce the tunnels, for example, that its fighters use inside of Gaza as this conflict continues. So every truck that goes in gets painstakingly inspected, and that's the reason, even though they've ramped up capacity in recent weeks, why you see only a limited amount of trucks going in per day, and they only operate during daylight hours, so it just leaves a relatively limited window and a lot of work to do to get those trucks inside.
All right, Matt Rivers in Tel Aviv for us. Matt, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.